Hi and welcome. Well, today I'm going to talk a little bit about autism and what it is and signs of autism. And the reason why I chose to have a little message about it is because my son is diagnosed with autism. So, you kind of get a little insight as to what it is and the signs, in case that you might have a child or you might see someone that might exhibit some of the symptoms or signs. So that way you would know about it. Well, ASD, as you know it, is an acronym for Autism Spectrum Disorder. It's a developmental disability that can cause significant social, communication, and behavioral challenges. There is often nothing about how people with ASD look that sets them apart from other people, but people with ASD may communicate, interact, behave, and learn in ways that are different from most other people. The learning, thinking, and problem solving abilities of people with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, can range from gifted to severely challenged. Some people with ASD need a lot of help in their daily lives, other needs less. A diagnosis of ASD now includes several conditions that used to be diagnosed separately, such as autistic disorder, pervasive um, developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, known as PDD-NOS, and Asperger syndrome. These conditions are now all called autism spectrum disorder. All of this information that I'm giving to you, it is coming straight from the CDC, so you could definitely Google it and you can look back at it if you like. Signs and symptoms of ASD, they usually have problems with social, emotional, and communication skills. My son, at the moment, he has a challenge with speech. So, he definitely has some issues with communication skills and also some emotional and social. Um, we'll hear a little bit more about that later on. They might repeat certain behaviors and might not want change in their daily activities. Many people with ASD also have different ways of learning, paying attention or reacting to things. Signs of ASD begin during early childhood and typically last throughout a person's life. Children or adults with ASD might not point at objects that are interesting to them. They might not look at objects when another person points at them. They might have trouble relating to others, or having not have an interest in other people at all. Avoid eye contact and want to be alone. My son, when I try to look him in the eye or, try to get him to look me in the face, sometimes he just kind of look all over. It's not that he's doing it on purpose. It's just due to the autism. But, we still work on eye contact as much as we can, and we verbally praise him when he look at us in the face. We say, good eye contact. So, but that is definitely a challenge of a lot of autism children and adults. They have trouble understanding other people's feelings or talking about their own feelings. Prefer not to be held or cuddled. I might cuddle only when they want to. Sometimes, Blaze, you reach out for a hug, he doesn't want to hug. But there are times when he comes up to you and he just hugs you and hold on for dear life. He just wants to be cuddled when he wants to be cuddled most times. But we know we work on that as well. Um, Appears to be unaware when people talk to them, but respond to other sounds. Sometimes when I call his name, he doesn't come right away, or he doesn't look my way. So that's something that we're still working on. He might repeat or echo. Some ASD kids may repeat or echo words or phrases said to them, or repeat words or phrases in place of normal language. Have trouble expressing their needs using typical words or emotions. Not play pretend games. For example, not pretend to feed a doll. They repeat actions over and over again. Sometimes they will flap their hands, which is what my son does. He might flap his hands or so forth when they call that stemming. Have trouble adapting when the routine changes. Have unusual reactions to the way things smell, taste, look, feel, or sound. Lose skills they once had. For example, stop saying words they were using before. So, a diagnosis of ASD can be difficult since there is no medical test, like a blood test, to diagnose the disorder. So, doctors look at the child's behavior and development to make a diagnosis. ASD can sometimes be detected at 18 months or younger. By age 2, a diagnosis by an experienced professional can be considered very reliable. However, many children do not receive a final diagnosis until much older. This delay means that the children with ASD might not get the early help that they need. I must say that, you know, with working in the education field, with being an educator and working in the education field, I learned about a lot of different resources. When my son wasn't hitting certain developmental milestones, I got Babies Can't Wait involved very early, at the age of, I want to say, around 2, when I realized certain speech gains wasn't made and certain developmental milestones wasn't met. I contacted Babies Can't Wait, and they evaluated him, and they saw that, he could use some help in certain areas such as speech and OT. So he was able to get speech and OT once a week from each of them, and he was able to get those services until he aged out at 3. And at that time, he was able to go into the public school system, where he was able to be approved to go to one of the autism unit and get additional help there. So, and also another place that you can also begin is, of course, your pediatrician if you have concerns. And also, we received resources from the Marcus Autism Center. So those are some places that you can kind of contact or reach out if you see that your child may exhibit some of those autism symptoms that I mentioned earlier. And some of the treatments that are usually given during that time, as I said, OT, occupational therapy, at times is involved, speech therapy, sometimes physical therapy, and also there are therapies for behaviors called ABA therapy. So I know I've given a lot of information, but that's just a little tidbit. And all I can say is that the best place to start is your pediatrician, or the Marcus Autism Center, and our Babies Can't Wait. Those are some great resources that you can use to get further information as in regards to your child's status in terms of seeing whether or not that they are autistic. So that's just my little experience. We still working with my son Blaze, and just doing the best we can during these times, and just continue to pray for him. We are still working with him. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm a proud autism mom. Those who know me very well know that I love him, and there's a lot of things that we're doing with him. And some of my experience is that he did exhibit, some of those symptoms of, maybe stemming and speech delay and some behavior. And we are working on it. And there are some items that I try to get, some sensory items. You can get like a vibrating pillow. I bought that. I have one here. He usually sometimes like to lay on it. He likes to lay on it sometimes, or he'll step on it, but he likes the feeling it gives him when he plays with it or make contact with it. I've bought what they call it, a sock uh, not a body sock. He gets in and he stretches and so forth. I think he likes that resistance. And there are so many, and I bought him a big, busy wall that is shaped like a plane with different wheels and so forth to turn on it and different things he can interact. And I also bought him a busy box. Now, when you have an autism child, you're going to be compelled to buy certain items to kind of help with their sensory needs. And what you'll find is that some of them will work, some of them will not. Some of them will work for a little bit and then they'll stop. But it's just a matter of just trying, seeing what works for your child. Every child is different. Every child um, gravitates towards different items, various items. So you have to see what works for your child. But that kind of works for us right now. He kind of likes that sensory input. So, we just always trying to figure out what works for him. Like a puzzle. That is the symbol of autism is a puzzle. You always have to try to figure things out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that is all I can say. Well, I hope that you have a blessed one. Keep him in prayer, and that we'll continue to work with him, and he gets the help that he needs. All right, now if you're also a proud autism parent, definitely put that in the chat or comment section. I would love to see it. All right, you take care. Bye. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe, okay?